We are finally back with another fun-filled Detroit Sports Talk program, the only show for your Detroit sports headlines. I'm Tommy Riles. As always, I am joined by Cody Hudson and Brendan Riley. Sorry about the hiatus, guys. We kind of
lost Cody. Cody died.
Cody died for a few weeks, but now he's back to life. But that shouldn't happen anymore because now we have Cody's phone number again.
Hi, guys.
Yeah. So see, he is alive. Well, today we are going to talk about my brilliant prediction of this Tigers 5-game winning streak that happened during this long hiatus. So, guys, what do you think about the Tigers now?
Well, the Tigers are they're certainly more back on track from the last time we talked. Can't get too excited. I mean, they're 2 games above 500. I think last year at this point they're like 6-7 games, so still general area where we were last year. Definitely feeling better than last Tigers talk, which was, I don't know, a month ago now.
Yeah, it was last few times we talked about the Tigers, well, a couple times. It wasn't good timing for Tigers talk. It was kind of, we were just ripping them a new one. But this time they're on the 5-game winning streak, and some listeners might think that we just waited, because of Tom's prediction until they won 5 in a row. But
and we will be honest, we did.
That is the case. You are correct. No, they're back on track now, and they're getting their stuff together, from what I can tell and what I can see.
And so people know we're not getting too excited just because they won 5 games in a row. We realize they beat Minnesota and Kansas City on this 5-game
Powerhouse teams.
But I mean, it's not just about that. It's not just about your wins. It's about your guys who are stepping up. You're seeing Peralta start to step up. You're seeing Bosch step up a little bit. You're definitely see Delman Young stepping up with 4 home runs in the last 4 games. Max Scherzer is looking great right now. I've always been one to say that when Max Scherzer is on, he's an ace. When he's off, he doesn't look like a major league player. But right now, he looks like an ace.
Yeah. The biggest thing last time was nobody was basically hitting over 300 except for Cabrera and Fielder, which still is the case. I think Cabrera and Jackson are still the only 2 players who are on pace to be hitting 300 at the end of the season, and Fielder is like right around 300. But the big thing is, last time we talked, Delman and Porcello and Bosch, all of them were down in like the 230s, 220s. All of a sudden, Delman Young's up to like 270 something. Peralta's up to 260.
We weren't even concerned about batting 300. We were concerned about batting 250.
Yeah.
I think last time we came up with 5 to 6 everyday players batting below the 250 mark. Now you got Jackson, everyday player above 300. Dirk's out right now. He's still got a 328 though for when he comes back. We'll get to him coming back later. Miguel Cabrera, good. Gerald Laird, not an everyday player, pretty good. Fielder, I mean, really, when you start to look at guys who are struggling as far as everyday players, Santiago's batting 230, but he's picking it up. He was batting 180.
He's got the sneaky power like we've been used to for the last couple of years now. He is putting the home runs in when we need him to. The biggest disappointment of all, I think all of us can agree, is definitely Ryan Rayburn and why the heck this guy is still on our team.
Ryan Rayburn is not a disappointment to me because I've always seen him the way he is.
He's a disappointment in life, basically.
He's a bad player.
He's not. The general public, they should be able to see how he doesn't belong there.
I think we do. I think it's the fact that Leland doesn't. And for some reason, he wants to take care of his babies, a.k.a. Brandon Inge and Ryan Rayburn. Well, we finally got him to let go of one of his sons. Now it's time to let go of the other one.
Speaking of the disappointment of the year, we're actually going to get to some awards for the halfway mark since we're about the All-Star break right now. You got the Home Run Derby tonight. So we're gonna hand out some awards later. I don't know if do you guys want to do that now or do you guys?
Let's do it at the end of the show. I want to talk kind of about our All-Stars. I mean, we all expected the 3 to go with Cabrera, Fielder, and Verlander. I personally think one person got snubbed though, and that's Ajax.
Yeah,
the dude is on fire. He's on like a 15-game hitting streak right now going into the break, and he's just been lighting it up. He's hitting like 340. I mean, he doesn't have RBIs and stuff. I was talking to my buddy about this the other day. He's never going to win a Gold Glove because he doesn't make the diving catches. He doesn't make the running catches like you see Jacoby Ellsbury and Adam Jones make. But did you ever really think about it? He doesn't make those catches because he's too good. He always gets to every ball that's hit to him.
And you can't get too upset with the snub in the All-Star game because the simple fact is fans vote. This stuff happens. It sucks. It really does. He should have made it. You know what, though? He's going to make more. This kid is good. I mean, you're right. He may not win a Gold Glove, but he'll make plenty of All-Star games.
Biggest problem that the reason why he didn't make the All-Star game, honestly, I think, is because a lot of Detroit fans just gave up on this team when they started going.
I don't doubt that at all.
I mean, they are the normal people who are going to make it are the 3 people who did make it. I mean, Cabrera is going to get the worldwide attention,
and they're big names now.
Because I mean, honestly, Cabrera should be starting in the home run or in the All-Star game, but instead, Adrian Beltre is. Cabrera is leading Beltre in every single statistic category. Verlander is the starter in the All-Star game. That's because everybody loves him, so obviously he's going to get the world popularity vote. And Prince Fielder, same thing. He comes over to the AL. Everybody loves him still from the NL, too. So he's getting the worldwide vote, too.
Yeah.
But, I mean, until this team puts a whole thing together, you're not going to see people like Jackson get into the All-Star game. Honestly, right now, that's the only person you can. But in the
everybody
future,
else,
right.
you feel pretty good about.
Well, like Brennan said, it's a fan based thing, and you can't be mad about to relate Austin Jackson to football. Stafford, you could say he got snubbed too, but it's the fans who vote, and Stafford definitely had the stats and should have went there to the game.
And Stafford had the stats more than Austin Jackson does. Austin Jackson looks great.
Yeah, but Austin Jackson could be there right now, but it's not. It's not a big surprise because your big name guys are going to go, but.
Now, speaking of the All-Star game, we actually have some other news for you guys. Justin Verlander is going to be the AL starter of the game, which me and Tom agree that how can you not have him start?
He's the Cy Young winner. He's the MVP. He didn't start last year because at the beginning of the season, I guess him and Weaver were still going at it for the Cy Young and stuff, and that was back last year when they had that game against the Angels where Verlander ended up pulling away in the second half. But this year, you have to give it to him. I mean, the dude is even with R.A. Dickey's success this year, Justin Verlander is the most dominant pitcher in baseball. I think everybody can agree with that.
And there's no comparison between R.A. Dickey, is there?
I mean, R.A. Dickey's a knuckleballer, and I mean, although he has great command, you got to think about this. Justin Verlander's in his prime. He's 30 years old. R.A. Dickey just now got into his prime at 37 years old. I mean, he's got 1 year left before he has to retire now. I mean. Justin Verlander is the most feared. What are you going to fear more?
Verlander's a consistent...
an 80-mile-per-hour knuckleball or a 101-mile fastball coming at your head? Which one do you want to hit?
Oh, I'd rather hit the knuckleball, but that doesn't mean it makes it any easier.
Exactly, but just saying. I mean, there's nobody who's going to be more dominant than Justin Verlander, at least right now. I mean, Strasburg has a chance. If it's over 120 innings. That is ridiculous. So
it's smart on their part.
He's at 92 innings right now, which means he's on pace to go for 210 innings. If they get to the playoffs, they're not going to have an ace. How retarded is that? I mean,
I agree with them. It's a good move on their part. But
right now, they have one of the best records in baseball.
Yeah, but, I mean, either way, we get back to the Tigers talk. But
that was just a little thing I had to throw in there. I was frustrated with that. I mean, I don't get how you're going to throw away your playoff chance. Okay, that's enough of that, though, with the whole Strasburg thing. Let's move on back to our Tigers. My biggest thing with the Tigers this year, honestly, let's think about it from this year to last year. Again, I know we've been doing that a lot this year, but let's look at all-star-wise. I mean, last year we had Avila, we had Valverde, we had Cabrera, we had Verlander. All 4 of those guys were key parts of why we were doing so well last year. With this year only having the 3 in, I mean, are you guys disappointed with me or what?
And you got to look and you got to see that Fielder's a new player on that team, in this team, so you'd expect that's a plus. Valverde, man, I've been a defender of Valverde, but he's just not looked good this year. You lost to Viola. To be honest, I expected it, so it's a disappointment. And although this is his 3rd season in the league, I almost look at it as his 2nd because it's his 2nd as an everyday player.
Right. Brendan, I'm going to actually call you out on that one because I know you've been the biggest Valverde supporter out of any of us because me and Cody have been calling for his head for a while now. I'm starting to think that Benoit's got to be your closer. I mean, Benoit has been so much better than
I don't have any problem, to be honest, with moving Valverde out of the closer spot.
At least for a couple
My
weeks.
problem is some people want him gone.
No,
and you can't do that.
I don't think.
I have no problem with taking him out of the closer role. He's still got to be on the team. You can't just cut this guy. He's got too much money.
I haven't heard anything about being cut. I'm just saying with Benoit, I mean, Benoit's actually been pretty lights out this year. I
fully admit to being wrong on defending him this year. He's been terrible. But about the All-Stars, like you said, you had Valverde. He's not what he was last year. And Viola is not what he was last year. Verlander and Cabrera are still good. So 2 out of your 4 from last year are just as good.
Right.
And you're adding 1. So I guess you would
It's
really
pretty
like
much the same thing as last year, I guess, when you really think about it. Because, I mean, last year we had one snub, too. Last year it was Victor Martinez. This year it's Austin Jackson. So, I mean, again, we have another snub in Detroit. But that just tells the fans that they need to get out there and vote. Because, I mean, look at Texas. How many do they have in the team now? 9? 10?
I'm not sure
I mean,
exactly,
good
but I don't
gosh.
doubt it. They
An
have-
insanely crazy number.
Right.
One guy, we haven't actually talked about him very much, and the last time we did our podcast on the Tigers, we talked about him a little bit, but he was just starting to show up. I'm thinking you guys know where I'm going with this.
It's our quarterback,
Yes,
Quentin
our
Berry.
quarterback, Quentin Berry. I don't know why he said our quarterback.
Every team needs a good QB. We have 2 of them. We have Stafford and we have Quentin Berry.
I mean, we talked about him a little bit last time, and I'll tell you what, a lot of people said this kid's going to disappear very quickly. From what I remember, I think we were pretty positive on this kid, and so far it's looked good. He is starting to slow down a little bit, but I mean, he got a triple last night.
You can't put slow down with Quentin Berry's name.
He's too
12
fast.
for 12 with stealing opportunities.
Okay, well,
He's starting to dwindle with his or average. That might be a good way to put
You
it.
know
but
what?
Stop
Saying that
slowing
is-
down.
Saying
a
that
guy
his candlelight is
When a
getting
guy
blown
dwindles
out.
and he's batting .299, I'm okay with that. He's looking much better than you'd expect from a guy like this. He's been a very key part, and if he sticks around, our outfield is going to be confusing. I mean, you got Austin Jackson, Andy Dirks, Quentin Berry, Delman Young starting to turn it on. What do you do with Brendan Bosch?
Well,
Hopefully, it helps you push Ryan Rayburn out of here.
Rayburn, I believe, is going to be gone. This is my ideal situation here. This is completely coming from me. No rumors have been said about it.
This
I
is
do
not-
personally think
this is a prediction?
Yes, this is a prediction, and look how good my last one. turned
Another
out.
Tommy Riles bold prediction.
Don't expect another Tigers show for 1 month, guys. But
Okay.
go ahead, Tom.
I think Rayburn will be gone after the All-Star break. I think Bosch and Porcello will be out of here for either Garza and Barney or just Garza, depending on what Chicago wants. So that's going to clear some room. I think Castellanos is either going to be in the MLB or traded by the end of the All-Star, or by the trade deadline at least. And I also think that Delman Young's basically just not going to play another day in the outfield because I think you're going to basically. I mean, he might sub in for like Barry or.
I expect Delman Young's going to be a rotation guy with Barry, to be honest. I think you're going to see a lot more of him at DH, which I like.
Right. I think-
Going into the season, our defense, everyone knew, was a little weaker than we wanted. Even though it's the infield you were concerned about, the outfield, you got some slow guys in Young and Bosch. But all of a sudden...
If you can bring back Dirks, though, think about that outfield, how quick
Dirks,
it is. You
Berry,
got Dirks, Barry, and Jackson.
And they're
There-
all 3 legitimate center fielders.
Yes,
Yeah.
there will be barely any balls that drop in the outfield. I mean, I will admit, though, Quentin Berry has scared. His biggest flaw, honestly, so far for me, has been his fielding. I
He's
mean,
a little
he
aggressive
looks
on the ball sometimes.
He looks scary when he does it, too, because, I mean, when he's trying to throw runners out, he'll back up, and he throws off of his back foot when he's trying to gun people down. That's why he does. I mean, he's got a pretty good arm.
But he's
he
better. I think we can all agree he's a better fielder than Delman Young.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just a little bit. I
Yeah.
think he's a little faster than Delman Young, too. But
Just a little bit.
who knows?
So-
DY Jelly can put it on sometimes.
Brendan Bosch, though, I mean, if he's not out of here, I don't know what he's going to be. I mean, I guess the rotation DH guy, he's not going to get much time.
Well, it depends on if Dirks comes back, though. I mean, Dirks was out of the walking boot last week. They said at one of the games. I don't.
If
remember
Dirks
which one it
comes
was,
back
but-
the way he is and Barry stays the way he is, guys, we're looking at a playoff team. And I think we all felt early on this was a playoff team.
Yeah.
And they started to show maybe they're not. You know, let's talk about that. What do you guys think about them as far as a playoff team right now?
I think look at their division, dude. The
It's-
highest winning percentage in the division is like what? What is it? Honestly, I think it's under 600.
The highest winning, it's
Sox are what?
55% by the Sox.
Yeah. Cleveland's a joke of a team. They'll be gone within the next couple weeks. Chicago, I mean, with the Euclid trade, it's hard to tell. I want to say the Tigers are still going to win the division, but they're only like 2.5 games out of the wild card right now. Tampa Bay is struggling like crazy without Longoria. Boston is not doing anything that they were supposed to do this year. I mean, and the only team that I could see taking the other wild card spot with having 2 wild cards now is the Anaheim.
I was just about to say, looking at this, actually, you're right. We are not far back at all. The Angels are 48 and 38. We're 44 and 42, so that puts us 4 games back.
No, but there's 2 wild card positions this year.
Oh, that's right. So actually-
we're only 2 games back of either Tampa Bay or Boston. It's one of those.
Oh,
2
yeah.
teams.
We're
I
not.
forget.
Yeah, we're actually. We
Yeah,
are
well,
very
Tampa
close.
Bay is.
We're a game back of Tampa Bay.
Yeah.
So you're right. I didn't even think about that. You want to see them win the division. You,
Oh, definitely.
You don't want to play one game to be in.
No.
And I think people look and say, "Oh, well, who cares if they make the playoffs? This team's not any good." make the playoffs. Anything can happen.
I actually want to go back to the outfield questions because I did say that Castellanos is going to be up. We have been hearing rumors that he's been taking outfield and left field practice. My biggest question is, are they doing that for trade value or what? Because I don't see where we already have 6 outfielders on this team. You can't throw another one into the bat just to force his way up here. I mean, that's not going to help.
It doesn't make sense to me either. I'm thinking it has to do with the fact that they gave him a shot at second base as well. They worked him out there, and he didn't feel comfortable. I think it has to do more with them just trying to figure out what else he can do. Maybe a little bit for trade value. And if they're not looking to bring him up this year, maybe they think they got something in the future. Maybe they're looking to package a guy like Bosch and Dirks or something like that. Now, that's, again, completely rumor. Not even a rumor. That's completely speculation more so. Where, who knows, maybe they're looking to move some guys we got now.
I'm still going to have to say he's probably going with to the Cubs with that trade for Garza and Barney. I mean, that one is actually legit. That's a trade rumor.
Speaking
out
of
there.
that, what I heard just the other day was that the Cubs have sent down some scouts. I don't know if they're still there or not, but
and
down
they
to
sent him
Double A
down to Double A. Yeah.
to watch. Castellanos is there for those of you who don't know. Probably looking for pieces for a trade for Garza.
And just letting everybody know, Castellanos did win the MVP of the Futures game over the weekend too. He went 4 for 5 with a bomb, and I think he had a triple or 2 maybe. Too.
I don't know about you guys. I'd love to have Castellanos here, and I said in our other podcast, trade him. I would love to have him here. But if he can't move out of third base in the next, he doesn't need to do it now, but if he can't do it in 2 to 3 years, what are you going to do? Because you don't have a space for him. He's got to be able to play second base.
Well, it's not like
in the
we're
next
set
few
at third
years.
base or anything. We only have the best hitter in baseball at third base. I mean,
So, as of right now, the trade value may be higher than anything else, but I'm not going to give him away for nothing either, if it's me.
see, the scary part with this team is they are so good. They are so good with all of the talent they have on this team. I mean, you've got Peralta at shortstop. When he's on, he's a great shortstop. He's not going to be a Gold Glove shortstop, but he's going to get to what he can.
He's going to be good enough.
Cabrera is going to be the best hitter in baseball, like he has been. Fielder has been a dead surprise, honestly, with this year with his average plus his power. I mean, at first you were questioning where the power was. Now all of a sudden he's got 15
It's starting
bombs.
to show up.
Yeah, that he had a home run on Sunday's game against Kansas City. I still don't think it's landed. I mean, he has just really taken it out now. Cody, what do you have to say? You haven't talked in a while. Are you dead again?
Yeah, not dead yet. Still alive. Still breathing over here. Castellanos, I like the guy. Moving back to him a little bit. He's good trade value right now, but I feel like in a couple of years with development that he would be a very good player for the Tigers. So I would like to keep him around.
I don't think anybody questions that. The thing is that it's a win-now team. He's got to be able to move, and as of right now, he said he's uncomfortable anywhere but third base. I mean, if you can move him, then all right. I think you got to keep him. If you can find a way to make him play second base.
He might be uncomfortable to move, but sometimes you got to do things that make you uncomfortable to be successful.
The biggest thing, everybody keeps telling me he's going to be too slow to play second base. Last time I checked, Miggy was too slow to play third base too, and
I've never actually heard that one before.
He was too slow and he was too big to play third base. That was the only rumor that was going around all before the season. And now all of a sudden he's one of the best third basemen around because he's got, not fielding wise, but his hitting takes up for his fielding.
Was Carlos Guillen fast at second base? That guy, he moved from shortstop to second base because he couldn't move.
Exactly.
Your second baseman, I mean, don't get me wrong, you don't want a terrible second baseman, but
you can't
doesn't
get much
need to
worse.
be
You
special.
can't get much worse than what we have right now. I mean, when you're starting Ryan Rayburn and Ramon Santiago basically flip-flopping every other day, yeah.
And Santiago, I like Santiago.
Yes,
as a role player, not as an everyday
Santiago
player.
is a good come off the bench when he can, and like I said, the sneaky power where he comes off and gets a home run every once in a while.
And I mean, Cody, I think we do agree with you that we don't want to get rid of Castellanos, but what do you think for Garza as of right now? Would that be a good trade? If you're looking at giving not just Castellanos, but like Tom suggested,
the rumor is right now we're going to give Castellanos and Bosch for sure for Darwin Barney and Matt Garza, but it's rumored that we're going to have to throw in Porcello too.
so as of right now,
As of right now, how does that trade look to me?
Yes.
I think that it looks good as of right now, but down the line, would it be the best thing for the Tigers? It's like in a way, the comparison to like the Curtis Granderson trade. Now was that the right trade?
Yes.
At that point, yes. Down the line, are you looking at it like now? The way that Jackson's hitting, yeah, I would say that was the best trade.
See, I
but
think
before, for a while there, a lot of people, a lot of Detroit fans were saying, I don't really like that trade. I wish they would.
But that's like saying
trade.
was signing Fielder to 9 years. Was that good down the road? Probably not. 9 years from now,
yeah,
Fielder's not going to be giving you.
He's
the
not going to be
production.
the same guy as he is
So,
now.
People want to win now, whether or not that's the right way to go. And when I say now, I don't mean this year.
Yeah.
But in the next couple of years.
I mean, you realize it's always a building process, but
well,
you want to win, within the next.
well,
You're always looking at your next like two years.
It definitely was a win now attitude, but I think it was more a win next year attitude when
But
you
even
put
if it
this
is-
team together. Because I mean, it could be a win now. I mean, this team could come out and go 50-25 in the end, or this next part of the season, and end up with the best record in baseball. They could easily go on a hot streak. I mean, it's just how this team is. But I think they were expecting VMark to be back a little bit faster than this. And if VMark comes back, we've said this before in all of our podcasts. If VMark comes back, this team's probably the best team in baseball.
From what I read, VMart doesn't look.
He's
coming
not.
back.
No, he's coming back at the earliest mid-September.
Yeah, that's what I
at
heard.
the
as well.
latest late September. That's pretty much
Playoff
you're going
time.
into the playoffs,
Yeah.
and if he does come back, then he can't even play in the playoffs.
Well, if he
'Cause
would've
you have
came-
to play a certain amount.
If
of
he would have
games.
been able to come back sooner, and if he would have been playing the way that he was playing last season, this team would be unstoppable.
Right. All right. Let's move on to what Brendan mentioned earlier, our season awards for the Tigers. We've got 3 of them. We're bringing in our special guest. We got Cody's stepdad here, John.
Hello.
Welcome to the show, John.
Thank you.
All right. We'll start out with you. Biggest surprise this year for the Tigers. What do you think? Could be good or bad.
Biggest surprise, I'd say Quentin Berry's been a nice surprise, but I'm going to go with Austin Jackson. I think even after his injury coming back, I think that him at the top of the lineup, we're a different team, and him being able to be steady, he shortened up his swing a little bit, and I think he's more well-rounded, and he gives the team a bigger lift.
Definitely agree, Cody.
Yeah, I was leaning towards the same thing. Is like Quentin Berry, he's been a big surprise to everybody, with his production so far this season. But Austin Jackson, he really shaped up the way that he's hitting and everything, and I agree with John completely on this.
I actually find that interesting because I think it was our first Tigers talk. I said he was the unsung hero of this team, so he wasn't a surprise to me personally. I got to go with Quentin Berry. Quentin Berry, who is this guy? His first hit in the major leagues was a bunt double.
That is
and he's
weird.
kept it up since then.
Well, I'm going to play devil's advocate here. I said good or bad. You guys all went good. I'm going to go bad. Jose Valverde. I mean,
That's a very good
this
one.
is
Good call.
ridiculous. I mean, the dude was perfect last year. I mean, I get he's not going to be perfect, but he's been horrible this year.
He
I
can't
mean,
throw strikes.
No, he can't. I mean, the other day we had, a 6-2 lead, and he blew it, and we almost lost the game.
He
I
can't
mean-
throw home runs though.
True. Well, you could actually put mine as the next category. We're going to give out an award to, too. But biggest disappointment, John, we'll start with you again.
Biggest disappointment, I'm going to have to say Rick Porcello. I mean, just start after start, he's inconsistent, and I really thought this was his year to either make it or break it. And at some point, we could have possibly traded him and got something for him, but now I'm not even sure that that's even possible.
Yeah, I agree with that. Cody?
Yeah, Pfister to me, he's been a pretty big disappointment to me. I feel that he's a lot better than a 2-6 win-loss percentage, but I don't know. He's not been playing very well this season, and I feel that he's a lot better than what he's been pitching.
I can't pick out one individual player. I'm gonna go with the Tigers bullpen. Last year, you got to the end of the game, and you felt you were gonna win every time. You had Benoit and Valverde shut the game. You haven't had that at all this year. This year, I mean, it's gotten much better as of late.
Or were they like 30-0 after winning?
I think they were better than that. I think after winning after 7, they were like
I think they broke-
60-0.
yeah,
It
they
was
broke
ridiculous.
records
It's
last
amazing.
And they've definitely picked it up. I don't remember what the number was, but recently they've gotten much better. But throughout the year, they've been my biggest disappointment.
My biggest disappointment is actually going to be someone who's been picking it up a little bit lately, but not so much at the beginning of the season. It's Johnny Peralta. I mean, I expected a lot more than, I think he's got 5 home runs right now. I mean, he's one of those guys that you expect 15 to 20 home runs from a year. You also expect about a 270, 280 average. He has been picking it up lately. I'm going to combo it, actually. I think they both get it. Johnny Peralta and Brennan Bosch. I mean, you expected both these guys. These were two key parts to making this team a good team. And when both of them were just in this, I mean, when they were in the basement this year, the team was in the basement. I mean, it was not good. All right, the last one we are going to give is going to be the MVP.
And on a good note,
Yeah, we're going to end it on a good one more thing I wanted to touch on, because we hadn't touched on it at all yet. What do you guys think about Gerald Laird this year? I mean,
I never liked the guy, but he's been very
Could you
good
put
this
him
year.
as a big surprise?
You really could.
Yeah, I
honestly.
think so.
He's been consistent.
He's not my number one surprise, but I agree.
Yeah,
He should have been mentioned for big surprise.
I completely forgot about him until just now when I was looking over at your computer. But yeah, he's been money this year, literally G money.
G-Money.
But yeah, for the MVP, same thing. We're going to start with you, John. Who's your MVP this year?
Definitely Justin Verlander. I mean, leads the league in strikeouts again, leads the league in innings pitched. I mean, just you can count on him. We get 3 losses in a row, and then you got Verlander coming to feel like he can get something started again. I mean, a lot of Tigers having good seasons, but I got to go with Justin Verlander.
Yeah, I don't want to keep copying you, but I mean, how could you not pick this guy to be the MVP so far? He's the best pitcher in the league. I mean, headed towards another Cy Young, I feel like, and yeah, how could you not pick him? Justin Verlander.
So as not to give upset anybody with Cabrera's lack of love here, Cabrera I think has been the MVP. He's been the best player on the team, but
He's been the best player in the league.
He's been the best player in the league, but you do also got to look at who's made that difference, and I think Austin Jackson's made that difference because you knew you were gonna have, and it's not about the surprise because, like I said, Jackson doesn't surprise me. Cabrera, you knew what you had with him. You knew, and he is the best player on the team, one of the best players in the league. Austin Jackson, though, if you took this guy off the team, I don't think this team would be competing for a playoff spot right now. He's your leadoff guy. He gets on base. He gets extra base hits. He scores runs. He's cut down his strikeouts from previous years. He's getting walks. He's doing everything right. He's even showing some power this year.
Yeah.
9 home runs at this point.
Okay, well, since you guys aren't going to pick him, I will. Miguel Cabrera is definitely the MVP on this team. He's probably the MVP of the American League. But again, I say he's not starting in the All-Star game. Way to go, Detroit fans. But the dude is just, every time he comes up, if we need a hit, he's going to get the hit.
You could
If we need
definitely
a home
rely on
run,
him.
he's going to get a home run. I mean, he's just been so clutch this year. I don't know how many times I've been watching the game where I think we're completely out of it, but then Cabrera gets a hit, and all of a sudden the game's a brand new game
It's
again.
got to be the quietest 71 RBIs.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I'm glad you chose him because I couldn't believe we were going to go through 4 people
You
without
weren't
him.
going through 4 people, because honestly, you could probably go through 4 people in America, and
You
somewhere
bet someone
there
would
would
say
be a Miguel
Cabrera.
Cabrera. Well, we want to thank John for coming down here, helping us out with the awards given away. Tigers are at the All-Star break now. We are going to ask you one more question before you go, John.
Yep.
Are they going to make the playoffs, or are they going to win the division or the wild card?
I'm
They're just not
going
gonna
to
make
say they're going to win the division, and I think Chicago will fade, and I think they'll put it together. I like what they're doing right now, and I think they'll carry it out after the All-Star game.
All right.
I have a quick question too to bring up. Prince Fielder, the home run derbies tonight. How do you think he's going to do? And do you think it's going to affect his play?
Hey, my dad's in Vegas right now. I put $5 on him to win it. he was going out 5-1. I picked him.
Well,
so go Fielder.
You know what? I think a lot of players does affect. We've seen it happen. Fielder's in this every year. It's a regular thing to him. I don't think it'll affect him. I'd expect him to do well. I don't know if I want him to win it, though. I just like to see him go to the finals. He can lose there. It's fine by me.
As long as it can affect him like Josh Hamilton.
Don't let
who
it
comes
get to
back
his
with
head.
a 4-home run game. I'm good with it.
Oh yeah, I would like
But let's go back to the question, Cody, since we were rudely interrupted with your question.
that. Okay.
Are the Tigers going to win the division, or are they going to be a wild card, or are they not going to make the playoffs?
I think that they will make the wild card. From what I see right now, that's the way that I feel. Talk to me next Tigers Talk. Could be different. Could be winning the division, but right now, wild card, I say.
I got to go division. This team is starting to pick it up. The White Sox, I mean, they're hot right now, but they are not that good.
I'm going to go Division 2. I think Fister starts turning it on at the end of the All-Star break. I think Verlander comes out and becomes dominant again, just like he was last year. And Cabrera and Fielder just keep doing what they're doing. But we want to thank John for coming down here, and thank all of you guys for listening to another show of Three Detroit Sports Talk, and we will see you guys next time.